Check out this Mini Dragon handheld console. It has a pretty nice appearance and costs only 299 yuan. Regarding its specifications, they are located right here. You are welcome to take a look at them. It's an RK3566 with 1GB of RAM and 8GB of storage. Of course, the storage is expandable. There's a TF card slot on the bottom. As you can see, the overall aesthetic of this handheld console is quite appealing. It features a single joystick that can be pressed down, and there are also dynamic lighting effects surrounding the joystick itself. The entire handheld device is covered by an acrylic layer. This acrylic panel is designed to be easily removable, securely held in place by 4 magnetic attachment points, ensuring a stable and reliable connection. Removing and reinserting it is a very smooth operation. Now this faceplate, there are indeed other planned designs for it, but currently they're not yet available for purchase. It runs on a Linux system. This operating system is quite interesting, and I'll explain it in more detail in a bit. We can clearly observe that the A, B, X, Y buttons and the directional pad are all made with conductive rubber. On the other hand, the select and start buttons, in contrast, appear to offer the distinctive tactile sensation characteristic of microswitches. The shoulder and trigger buttons are also made with conductive rubber contacts, providing a responsive and tactile feel. Looking at the top, it also supports video output. This is a mini HDMI port. You'll also find a Type-C power input, along with volume controls, a power button, and a reset button. As you saw earlier, there's a Type-C on the bottom. Oh, my apologies, I misspoke. The Type-C port on top is for OTG functionality, while this one on the bottom is actually a DC charging port. Additionally, it features a 3.5mm headphone jack for your audio needs. It features a single speaker, and on the bottom right, you'll discover some decorative symbols adorning its casing. These ABXY buttons, as we can see, are crafted from a crystal-like material, and their overall texture and feel are quite impressive. Let's turn it over to the back. On the back, you'll discover anti-slip textures on both grip areas. These are slightly elevated, but not excessively high, ensuring a comfortable feel. However, the 2 trigger buttons protrude more significantly, making them quite easy to access. Right in the middle of these elements, you'll find the Mini Dragon logo, which measures about 4. First, the battery. It charges at 5 volts, 2 amps, which is about 10 watts. Right here by the D-pad, there's actually a replacement D-pad available, which is a circular disc. You can simply unclip the faceplate, which then allows you to remove and swap out the existing D-pad for the new one. On this side, there are several small clasps, for attachment, and then with a simple press upwards, it transforms into this perfectly round circular D-pad. It's quite convenient, actually. Then you put the cover back on top of it, securing it firmly in place. Personally, I really feel they should have added small notches next to the D-pad. That way, you wouldn't have to remove the faceplate entirely to take it out, which would make it much more convenient to use. The device body has 8GB of built-in storage, so the system is installed right on the device. You don't need to insert a TF card to boot it up. Alright, let's explore its system, which is quite intriguing. Pressing the M button brings up the menu, revealing a plethora of settings to explore. Oh, and just so you know, the screen doesn't support touch input. It actually runs on a Linux system. The very first option we see here is the game settings. Now, the game menu itself is essentially the front-end menu for the emulator. We have the choice of selecting either the original emulator menu, or we can simply opt for the more straightforward, simplified settings menu instead. Later, once we get into the game, I'll be able to give you a detailed side-by-side comparison. This simplified menu is actually quite good. The game rewind function is basically just like the fast rewind feature you find in our good old IE emulator. The screen overlay activates depending on the game. For a 4:3 aspect ratio, it will fill the entire screen, but for a 3:2 ratio, you'll see a patterned overlay at the top and bottom. Wi-Fi is standard, Bluetooth is standard, and so are the time and date settings. In controller settings, you have button mapping. For instance, if you favor an Xbox button layout, but it's presently set to the Switch layout, you can simply relocate the A button down here, and it will be remapped to function as the A button. Personally, I think it would be even better if you could physically remove the buttons. A combination of physical button replacement and software mapping would definitely be an improvement. Currently, these buttons don't seem removable, but this sound effect setting. Now, this is really interesting and quite fun to play with. As you can see, it's categorized into many different types. The confirmation sound just a moment ago was indeed this particular sound. Oh, and it also comes with this particular sound effect, which is quite interesting. You just choose based on your own preferences, whatever you like best. For example, if you look, this is the back function. This setting is specifically for controlling the movement. Let's turn the page. This setting is specifically for when you want to reach the very bottom of a list or menu, allowing you to quickly navigate there. And then, of course, you'll find the notifications and reminders here as well. Lock screen. There are different choices here for system sound effects as well, and this aspect is quite entertaining and engaging, wouldn't you say? Vibration feedback, for example, is when you try to swipe right and there's definitely no menu there. It'll just vibrate to indicate that. So, the logic of this phone, the vibration it produces, comes from a rotor motor, and you should be able to hear it quite distinctly. For instance, when you reach the very bottom, it's designed to vibrate, providing a tactile confirmation. Then, when you get to the absolute end, a distinct sound plays, accompanying the vibration. Doesn't that create an experience remarkably similar to what we've come to expect from our modern smartphones? If this vibration was accompanied by HD vibration and these sound effects, I personally believe it would be much improved. However, given its price of 299 yuan, I shouldn't be overly particular. The ambient light feature allows for adjusting the lighting effects for the joysticks, offering numerous default modes, brightness levels, and speed variations. Under Customize, we see the focus color here, which is the blue box we are looking at, also known as the selection box. Right now, we have 5 presets available to choose from. If you select green, it becomes green. If you select purple, it turns purple. And if you select orange, it becomes orange. The battery percentage can be displayed externally or not at all. This also follows that familiar phone-like logic, which is quite convenient. And for the device name, I've actually gone ahead and edited it to display my own name right here. You can also switch it on and off. It's conveniently located right there in the upper left corner. The firmware version also supports OTA updates entirely on the latest version. The other options are quite standard, so I won't delve into extensive explanations. My system card isn't quite ready yet. It's still in the process of downloading. As most of you likely purchased the cardless version, I'll be sharing the game files in the comments section. Simply format your memory card to FAT32, then transfer all the provided files onto it and insert the card. It should then be recognized and function properly. Alright, it's finally done downloading, over 100 gigabytes. Can you believe it? Let's go ahead and plug it in now. You've got the option to insert it into either slot 1 or 2. For simplicity, I'll just opt to put it into slot 1. Hey, it says the TF card has been inserted and is now reading. While it's reading, let's compare it with some other handheld consoles. The one on the bottom here is the AYANEO Pocket Air. They're roughly the same size and their screens are identical, both 4 inches. Even placed next to a GBA, it's really not all that much bigger, which is quite surprising honestly. Let's check the device weight now. It actually comes in at 252 grams. Since the games have already been extracted and categorized, let's just jump right in. Before we begin, don't set your expectations too high for its performance. After all, it's just a 2K 366. It's fine for some PvP games and these retro games. Let's just directly dive into God of War, Chains of Olympus, and see how it performs against its lifelong rival. The frame rate indeed is exactly as I had predicted. It's hovering around 10 to 20 frames per second, sometimes barely even touching 3 frames. That's a bit disappointing. That's to be expected, considering it's only a 2K 366 after all. For games that are less demanding, its performance gets a bit better. However, in more graphically complex scenarios, the frame rate will most certainly drop below 30 frames per second. If you're playing 4:3 ratio games, the resolution should be able to reach triple that. This is its basic menu containing the options we just covered in the settings. It features save, reset, and load functionalities. Additionally, under the More section, you'll find some straightforward RA settings like input remapping, display aspect ratio, screen overlays, and shader configurations, all of which are fully customizable. You have the freedom to select your own settings or make use of the numerous available presets. Of course, you can also dive directly into our RA emulator. This is the front-end interface itself. Regarding the Dragon's Road display, it operates at a 3:2 aspect ratio. As you can observe, this screen is capable of delivering an impressive 4 times point-to-point display effect, which means a sharper, more detailed image. This display screen is actually quite good, I must say. And then there's the GBC, with its 10:9 aspect ratio. As you can see, there are black bars on both the left and right side. This setup should allow for an impressive 5x integer scale display, making the visuals truly sharp. Let's try the first Splatterhouse and see how the D-dash pad performs. First, let's try getting down and kicking. Diagonally, to the bottom left, bottom right, top left. Oh, actually, top left, top right. The tension and responsiveness are quite good. Let's try pulling off some more special moves in this fighting game once again. Executing special moves using this circular D-pad is quite comfortable and smooth. Still, this circular Sega-style D-pad is comfortable to use. The 4:3 screen aspect ratio is mainly suitable for playing these retro games. For example, 4 to 3 is full screen, 3 to 2 has bars at the top and bottom, and 8 to 7 has bars on the sides. As you can see, they are all well adapted, including filters and such. Regarding this menu, personally, I think this menu currently doesn't allow background changes. I checked the settings, and it's not even an option under display. I really hope a future OTA update brings this feature. Regarding this menu's single line categorization, I truly hope they can update it with more layout options for everyone to pick from. Okay, that's what we've covered on that front. Next, let's go ahead and take this apart to see how it performs on the inside. Now, let's carefully disassemble it and examine its internal components. So this is the 2K366 processor, which you should be able to see clearly. You've got your Hall effect joysticks. And these two trigger buttons aren't true triggers as you might expect. They're more of a standard press-down type with a silicone pad beneath. This here is its single speaker, positioned all the way to the left, occupying the latter half of the motherboard. So, what are your thoughts on the internal components of this device? For example, the battery is a substantial 4,000 mAh unit. And we haven't even touched on its operating system yet. It's the Dragon OS, and the boot up speed is impressively fast, which is quite a remarkable feature for this device, wouldn't you say? Finally, let's take a look at what's inside the packaging. On this side, there's a paper detailing the specifications. Below that, we have the certificate of conformity. Then there's an A to C charging data cable, and that's pretty much it. Oh wait, there's also a tempered glass screen protector and a protective case included. So ultimately, what are your thoughts on this 299 yuan Mini Dragon handheld, especially considering it doesn't come with an SD card? Alright, let's go ahead and summarize everything. First off, we need to discuss its Linux system. This system offers quite a lot of playability, and I've already shared my suggestions for themes and so on. Also, its distinctive way of shedding leaves and a few other small details still necessitate further optimization down the line. Furthermore, the crystal material coating of this can actually be replaced, which is a really great feature to have. The overall aesthetic is really quite pleasing. It would be even better, however, if those ABXY buttons could be detached and repositioned as needed. Regarding the D-pad, as we just discussed, it can be detached directly. It would truly be better if there were small indentations on both sides of it. But since it's only 299 yuan, let's not get too picky. These are just suggestions. It'd be great to see them in the future. Another thing is that this acrylic faceplate is susceptible to wear and tear, getting scratched and scuffed. However, with this transparent faceplate, there's another point. You can actually remove it and do your painting directly on the inside. This, of course, would depend on your exceptionally advanced technical skill and artistic ability. Once you finish drawing, just place this on top and you'll have all the patterns you've drawn inside, making it truly unique and personal. Alright, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like, subscribe, and share button to support us. Wishing you all happiness every single day. Oh, and a quick heads up, we'll be giving away 2 of these to lucky winners in the comments section, so make sure to keep a close watch for our giveaway announcements and updates. You won't want to miss out. In this video, we'll be diving deep into some exciting new gadgets and tech, so stay tuned for all the action.